Gearheads know that some projects need so many parts, it feels like you need a whole storage unit just to store them. That's what eBay Motors' 122 million parts are for. Think of it as your virtual parts garage. They've always got the right fitment at the right prices. Use the eBay Motors app or visit ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
Holidays are here, and so is fashionable fitness. Gift yourself a Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 3 5G, a phone that folds in half to literally stand on its own. Pair it with the Galaxy Watch 4 for ultimate wellness and wow factor. Check health stats, flex personal records. Over 90 activities can be tracked, like biking, swimming, golfing, and more. Invest in yourself with tech made to crush goals. Holidays open up with Galaxy. Shop it all at Samsung.com. 5G connection and availability may vary. Check with carrier. Products sold separately.
Hey everyone, this is the Almost World Podcast. Bringing to you mind-blowing interviews with guests from all over the world. So settle down, relax, and enjoy the show. Oh yeah, by the way, if you like the podcast, please support Elmo's World Podcast on Patreon. Your support is what helps the podcast improve more and more. 3. Welcome to Elmo's World Podcast. This is Elmo Dor Jr. And it's a great day today because I have an opportunity to talk to my friend Diogenes Skepticus, or at least that's what he calls himself. Diogenes, can you introduce yourself?
All right. Hello, everyone. I call myself Diogenes Skepticus. I prefer this name rather than my original name. I take after Diogenes, the Greek philosopher, who used to live in a barrel. Well, he has many cool stories, but most people know him for living in a barrel and refusing any gift offered on him by Alexander the Great, who used to be the king at that era of time. So one day, Diogenes was standing sunbathing in his barrel, and Alexander the Great came to him and said, Diogenes, you are a great philosopher and wise man of Greece, so ask for anything, a house, food, whatever you want. So Diogenes asked him for one thing only. He asked him to move away because he was blocking the sun from his face, and never asked for anything else. Yeah, so that's a happy guy. He's content with his barrel and whatever in his brain. So I wish to be there.
Yeah, but there's also another story where Alexander asked him what he was doing, and he said, I'm trying to find the bones of your father here, but I can't seem to differentiate one from the other.
Well, I don't know about this one, but Diogenes is known for being cynical, or the father of cynicism. He used to make fun of Socrates. One time they were stoning a man, so he told the guys, maybe he's your father. He called them all bastards, basically. Yeah. So what you got for me, Elmo?
Yeah, and I want to ask you about your nihilistic view, because I meet a lot of nihilists, but I don't know if it's any actual philosophical worldview that anyone can stand on. But I don't know for you, why are you a nihilist?
All right. Well, like most of people, I used to have a religion in early age, and I have always looked for developing my intellect. We all start with this motto of finding the truth, as if the truth is something hidden in the metaphysics or beyond what we see with our eyes. So I went from an ideology to another until I ended up a normal human, what I call a normal human, who is free from traditions, from his historical inheritance, whatever it is, even from genetic traits. I tried my best to get rid of them, and whatever religion I inherited from my parents. Then I asked myself, what is the purpose of living in my life? After debating myself and others with this question and researching a lot, I found that the question itself is wrong, because there is no purpose for life. Life itself is the purpose, right? Living itself is the purpose. So there is no meaning behind it. It's like you live every second which you own. You own the present that you live in. The past is gone and the future is based on what you do right now. Yeah, so I found no meaning, and the meaning is in life itself.
Yeah, but I'm not here to argue anything or prove to you that nihilism is wrong, but I'm actually very curious as to how you, as a human being, would act on that sort of belief. So, in terms of, for example, how you view life, it seems that is more than just being a nihilist. You're also an existentialist.
I don't know about that. I always had my suicidal tendencies, taking you to a darker corner here, Elmo.
Yeah, but what I meant was that because you say that life itself has meaning.
No, life is the meaning, not has a meaning. It doesn't have a meaning.
Yeah, life is the meaning. So in a way, you're also applying meaning to life. So that's a very existential point of view there, rather than nihilistic.
Perhaps, but as you have noticed, when I said I got myself rid of religion and traditions, etc., etc., I called myself a human, a normal human. To not to label myself with anything, not to limit myself with any ideology. So I don't prefer any label such as an atheist, existentialist, or whatever, because I don't stay at one point. I keep developing my thoughts and ideas as I am leaving my brain free to serve among the thoughts and among the ideas. So I don't know whether I'm existentialist or not. But every day by itself is like a new life. And I don't mean that in a pinky point of view. No, I mean in a shitty point of view.
Okay, yeah, but then how do you in a way act on it? For example, if let's say you were facing a trouble in life, how do you use your nihilistic point of view to act on that?
Okay. Well, right now in the country I am in right now, which I have been here for 2 years. Before that, I was living a single life for 15 years. In these 15 years, maybe I got angry once or twice. What people consider big troubles and big problems meant nothing to me. Well, to describe it accurately, I would say simple logic, which is not attained easily by people or by the brain. Simple logic is my way of acting in life. I don't think or plan about stuff. I deal with the things as they come. Now, by default, an experience is established here, but every case by case. Like when people ask me, how would you deal with this or how would you deal with that? I cannot know until I am in that situation. So, yeah, and I never plan. I literally never plan. I'm either in my moment.
So you, in a way, you act from natural dispositions or reactions to events.
That's a nice way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah, and in
like
terms
that.
of, for example, how you look at death, how do you view it?
I believe that the humans in the past, especially ancient humans, thought of death as a normal occurrence that is not 100% connected to emotions. Now that's a radical way to look at death, because maybe when I hear about people dying, maybe I wouldn't care, but when it's someone close to me, then it's a different story. But let's talk specifically about my own death, not others. I don't think about it at all. But at the same time, I'm kind of ready for it. I have no fears or no doubts about what's after death. Now, my answer about what's after death could be two answers that are equal to each other. It's either I don't know or nothing. Either one of them, I don't think a lot about it. It doesn't matter much, because like I said, the point of life is life itself. So you really don't need to think about death or what's after death. Did I answer your question?
So in terms of, for example, morality, could you talk more about that as well?
I have always seen it as the logical thing to do. Now, the basic instinct for humans is to be selfish.
3.
Not really to be 100% good.
Yeah,
even in their
for example,
goodness or in their
morality.
best emotions, which is love, they are selfish, right? But morality to me is something in my mind where it just makes sense to be good. It doesn't make sense to be evil. because you keep thinking down inside, what would harm you, what would hurt you, what would make your life harder and harder. And when something hard or bad happens to you, one of the things you question or you ask yourself is, why did this happen to me? And you ask this question as if it is illogical for it to be happening. So the same thing. I just think being good is just easy. It comes natural to me. However, I cannot get rid of the human ego to even the minimum amount of it, which could present itself as selfishness, especially in social life and social relationships. I might harm or hurt someone without realizing it or without controlling it.
Yeah, and you wanted to talk about dating and being a caveman. It's a really confusing topic, but could you digest on that?
Yeah, sure. Okay, I'll try my best. It's because like you said, it's confusing and complicated topic, because there isn't a solid rule for that. However, some tips could help us, the males, especially the males. Well, no matter how society changes and the psychology of the people changes with the technological advancements and other stuff, no matter how the society looks, whether it looks really bright or whether it's in ice age, the human instinct kicks off. It's always there. All right. And some big philosophers kept their analysis for humans about the instincts, and everything is based on the instincts, right? Of course, this is not to be misunderstood, that because sex is an instinct means everybody wants it from anybody. No. Two people need to click at the beginning. They need to be in a situation where there is a reciprocation of conversation between each other. Once that happens, I think it's okay to express, especially with your body language, with your tone, that you desire the other party or the other person. And they can feel it consciously and subconsciously, right? You need to think of yourself as a wolf hunter, which is many books were written about that. For instance, one of the rules is, once you lay your eyes on a woman or on someone you like, you have 3-second rule to go and talk to that person. Because if you take longer, once hesitation comes to you, and you will not be performing naturally, right? So you need to convey your message to the other party clearly and straightforwardly that you like them, right? Now, we don't need to be savages and express with our dicks, because our dicks are not really attractive. They are ugly bastards. Right? There are good tools that do their job, but what's attractive is the sincerity of the brain, and your ability to be natural in what you say to the other party. So to what I'm saying is, be natural, but be gentle. Express that you like the other person and express that you desire the other person, but also be mindful of the intellectual part, where you are sincere in what you are saying.
Okay. Yeah, so then you mentioned some stuff about depression, and I'm not sure if you were the one who got depressed in your life, and I think that's something that a very sensitive topic, but if you want to share your own point of view on that, that would be fine.
Now, question: people will see me or just hear me? All right, so they will not see my beard or anything. Okay, cool. Well, depression. There are stages for depression, from mild to severe depression. It could be for a while, or it could be recurring with the person. So I'm dealing with depression for over 12 years. No, actually 15 to 17 years. And I have been on medication for too long. Now, depression is interesting because it could result from seeing the reality as it is. It could be a result of, not necessarily a result of, seeing reality. And I remember since I was really young, 5 years old or 6 years old, I was always bothered and annoyed by life itself. And when I hear people saying we love life, I wonder, what do they love about it? Because it's not about seeing the good side or the positive side or the negative side. It's all there. It all exists. Poverty is there, whether you like it or not. Hunger is there. War is there. Economical crisis is there, etc., etc., etc. So these things, I used to see them and hate life. Now, hating life is probably the reason I have developed depression, because I am 34 years old now, and every day I have lived, I lived it by tolerating, not by happiness or by any positive concept that there is. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't live my days in sorrow or frowning or angry or sad. That got nothing to do with depression. It's only a small part of depression. But it actually has stages. Some stages are really severe, where you can't even handle the existence of your own body. You can't lay down, you can't sit down. When you walk, you every cell in your body is itching and makes you suffer. Or it could be just a mild episode where you don't eat much, or you don't want to go out much, you don't want to socialize with people a lot, etc., etc. So as it is interesting, as it is the son of a bitch, it's the suffering with depression is not easy. And like I said, I had my suicidal tendencies where I attempted before to attempt suicide. However, I stopped at last minute for two reasons. One is because my fortune in life is my friends, my best friends who I know for over 20 years. We traveled together, we lived together, we studied together, we fucked together, we did everything together. And we stood by each other along the way when any one of us had a trouble. So because of them, or they are the main reason I am alive today. The second reason is my sick mother. She needs someone to take care of her. She's sick now with a stage 4 cancer. So, and I am the one taking care of her for the past 2 years and a half. So this is why I'm not dead yet, and that's all. Not because any personal reason where I am afraid of death or I am loving life or anything of that sort. So I think some people could stay alive for trivial reasons, but these trivial reasons means a lot to them, you know. And I think one day, if I want to go, if I want to leave life, I don't want to leave life because I am sad or under pressure or something like that. No, just because I decided that it's enough. Let's see what's next, or let's end it. And maybe I would do it with a smile. You never know.
Yeah. Okay. That's really interesting what you just said, and you know, I want to ask you more of a philosophical questions as to why do you think that Diogenes is the best example we should follow, because you seem to have certain fondness of him.
Well, do you know there is what is it called? I forgot the word in English. I really forgot it. Anyway, to live in a barrel and to reject living like others is a huge. It reflects a huge feeling of being in content and the strength where you don't need anything. And being able not to need anything means you got everything inside of you, right? Like right now, we need a mobile phone, a laptop, a house, electricity, water, a car, many clothes, many shoes, etc., etc., etc. You can't stop counting. And we don't feel, or many people, maybe you and I do, many people don't feel that they need them unless they lose them. They really don't know how much they own. But that guy had the choice and the chance to own more, and he consciously, deliberately chose not to have more, and he was fine with it. So it expresses some kind of strength that equalizes life or beats life. Because honestly speaking, life is fucking hard, and beating it is not fucking easy. But that guy fucking beat it.
But I don't seem to think that he beat it though on my end, because it seems that he suffered from probably skin diseases, hunger, thirst, and a lot of things that he wouldn't have in a comfortable home with a family. So I wouldn't say he beat life. I would say he sucked at it.
You are really presenting a modern life view for a guy who lived 2,000 years ago.
Well, we have the same life. We probably would age until maybe 80 or 100. I don't know. I'm not sure. But to comparing myself to Diogenes today, like there are a lot of people who live in very poor conditions but live much better than he had. So I wouldn't say he won at anything at all.
Well, yeah, I just remembered the word I was gonna say. There is, in psychology, there is something called today Diogenes syndrome, where a person stops taking care of himself and his hygiene and his surrounding, his environment, and he's dirty all the way, etc., etc. They called it Diogenes syndrome. But let me say something, put it under the spotlight. The economy and the world we live in right now, this is something I was told when I was a bit younger. This world doesn't allow you to choose to be poor. Of course, not many people think about choosing to be poor because they don't see the point of being poor, right? However, that's when I said to you, you are presenting a modern man life to a guy who lived 2,000 years ago, which is a totally different world, totally different economy, completely. Life was much simpler. The economy was much more real than it is right now, right? So the definition of success and failure, which are really relative terms, are not solid terms, were really different back then from it is now. I believe at that time, where many scholars and many philosophers lived, the brain and the mind was a sign of success rather than the money. So if the perspectives were different, there is really no point of comparing what our perspectives now to their perspectives then. However, if you were to argue, is it okay to live like Diogenes 2,000 years ago? Now, that's a good debate or argument. Because the minimum needs right now are much different than back then. The social ties and social pressure imposed imposes on you or any person, whether we like it or not, to have minimum requirements and minimum achievements. So it's really not practical to live like Diogenes right now. However, we could say the parallel for that is to live with nature, maybe. The parallel of him living in a barrel could be right now is living with nature or living off grid. And being able to balance everything out, where you have done your responsibilities, you didn't have a family and abandon them, you're taking care of your hygiene.
And in terms of, let's say, living life, is the meaning of life. So what are you doing with your life right now? In what direction do you expect to take it?
I have no idea what direction my life is taking, because I spent my 20s trying to plan things out, and every plan I had failed, right? So right now, I really have no idea where my life is taking me. Imagine if in 2019 you plan to travel the world in 2020. So no idea. I'm just trying. Maybe the most I want is to revive my brain, because along the line I feel I lost my focus and my concentration. Therefore, my cognitive abilities have dulled out. So working on these would be great. Enrich my brain with some sciences such as physics and math would be awesome. And have an enough income that supports me and supports the girl that I love and I want to marry.
And it's been a great conversation with you, bro. But I want to ask you this one last thing, one last question. Being someone who loves or has an admiration for Diogenes, what advice would you give to certain individuals who also think in a cynical way, and would in a way, what kind of change they should make in their lives, or in how they want to make the world a better place?
Okay. All right. The world right now is designed in a way where you are presented with one choice and a second choice, and you are kinda subconsciously controlled, where you think there is no a third choice or a fourth choice, such as the elections. The whole world is the whole world system with the media, and I'm not talking about conspiracy here, I'm just talking about the shape of the world. Because one day I realized I don't only have the choices that are in front of me, and there are other choices that I need to find. What I'm talking about here is we are all confined in a circle of the two choices. So I advise people to find their third and fourth choices, where they break out of this dogmatic and ideological circle, and they find could just find a whole new life presented to them and the other choices they have. Was it clear advice or?
Okay, that's great advice, bro. And it's been a great conversation with you, Diogenes.
All right, for the 2 people or 200 people listening to me, that was Diogenes Skepticus with you all. And if you have any comments or anything, pass them through Elmo, and maybe I'll come back again to answer your fucking questions. And it's been a pleasure talking to you after midnight, Elmo, which is really quiet and nice. And looking forward to any future conversations.
So that's the end of it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. This is your host, Elmo Ador Jr. And thank you for listening in. And please subscribe. Please follow us on Facebook. Please follow this. Please. Thanks.
It used to be hard to find the exact auto parts you needed, and that meant spending a lot of time at swap meets. It's a different game now when you can order exactly what you need from eBay Motors. They have 122 million parts, so you can always find the right fitment. Spend less time searching and more time building with the eBay Motors app, or visit ebaymotors.com. Let's ride.
Holidays are here, and so is fashionable fitness. Gift yourself a Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 3 5G, a phone that folds in half to literally stand on its own. Pair it with the Galaxy Watch 4 for ultimate wellness and wow factor. Check health stats, flex personal records. Over 90 activities can be tracked, like biking, swimming, golfing, and more. Invest in yourself with tech made to crush goals. Holidays open up with Galaxy. Shop it all at Samsung.com. 5G connection and availability may vary. Check with carrier. Products sold separately.